Let's make sure we have full audio here, and away we go.
How do I sound? How do I sound?
You should have done the sound check before we went live. Welcome to the show, Fly Degenerates Pick Show, where we won't be picking 3 games against the spread. We will be picking all of the games because
It's the Super
the
Show.
regular season is over. It is wild card weekend, super wild card weekend, or you could say stupid wild card weekend, where we have a Monday game for no reason, which I don't love, but we'll get into that at a future date. But in this evening's show, we will pick all of the wild card games coming up this weekend. We will recap a long and grueling season of picks and bets that we had. We'll go over some of the teams that gave us trouble over the season, some of the teams that we played against, we picked against well in the season, and we'll talk about some of the coaching changes and some of the off-season stuff. But we got plenty of time to talk about that. But before we get into that, how are the fellas feeling? How are the Cubans?
Yeah, good. Chilling.
You know, ask how the Dominicans?
When you wear a Dominican hat, I will. But until you wear a hat that says Dominicans,
You're American.
I'm just reading off the hat, bro.
Yeah, I got nothing in here. I've got a lot of props. I got no Dominican props.
So how's the New Yorkian?
We're doing good. We're doing good over here. You know, glad the season's finally over. You know what I'm saying? Get to the season that really matters, where we always win, the off season. You know what I'm saying? Undefeated in the off season.
Word.
Undefeated in 2024 as well.
Big season for the Jets coming.
So before we went live, we were talking a little bit about the audit that I did on all of the picks for the season, all of the picks for the year. We went over word life, hating the New Orleans Saints, hating them to the point that he picked against that team the most. 6 times went against the Saints and went 2-4. Now, Flex, do you know which team you picked against the most? Or
It's got to be the Packers.
Maybe we should start with which team you picked the most, which team you bet on to cover the spread the most times this year.
I mean, is it the Jets? I mean, I tried to stay away from them at some point, or most of the time, but
Really, that was literally the first pick that you made this year was the Jets.
yeah. Wait, what?
Was that you trying to stay away from them, or?
No, I know. I'm saying after, like later, you know,
So you think it was the Jets you picked the most, or it wasn't the Jets?
Yeah, I think so. Just because you know those first couple weeks where I was still.
Well, it was not the Jets. You should take all that stuff down. You didn't pick the Jets the most this season. Your team this year was the Gardner. Oh,
Nah,
went to guess. My bad.
Oh,
The Gardner Minshew-led Indianapolis Colts. You picked the Colts a whopping 6 times this year, and you had an over/under. You lost a total of 3 points on the Colts. Unfortunately, Jets were second. Jets were the team that did well for you. You had a +4 with the Jets. You went 3-2. Picking the Jets.
Nice.
Do you know what team you picked against the most? I wasn't surprised when I did the audit and I realized the team that you picked against. It didn't surprise me at all.
was it the Packers?
It was
Washington?
the Packers. Yes,
Oh,
very
nice.
good. You know yourself. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You faded the Packers a whopping 7 times. I think that takes the crown for any. I don't think
It's gotta
Word
be a
Life
record.
or I picked or went against any individual team 7 times. So you took the crown for that. 7 times.
Wait, but did I pick that? Did I only pick against them, or did I also pick with them?
No, you
just
didn't.
against.
No. You did pick them. Actually, let me check. No, you did not pick them. You didn't pick them. Not even once. No.
Really?
You went against them 7 times, didn't pick them once.
That's hate. What I
That
did
is
with the
hate.
Saints
Yeah,
is not
no.
hate.
Well, let me
That's
see.
not
Well,
hate.
hold on. Let me see. Did
Because
you
I picked
pick
the Saints. I
Saints?
picked the Saints.
Are
I know
you
I
sure?
did. Yeah, I'm 100% sure. At least once.
100%.
Yeah, once.
You did
I
not.
thought I
You did
did
not
pick-
pick the Saints once.
Yeah, so it's not that much more hate
Did
than
not
yours.
pick the Saints once. No, you did
thought I
not pick the
did.
Saints one
Nah, I
time.
did. Look.
Nah.
I thought I picked
nah.
I thought I picked
almost
the
picked them
Packers
mad
once.
times though.
No, you did not pick the Saints, and no, you did not pick the Packers. So you can explain yourself to the Saints fans. The who day is it who? No,
No, no, who dat?
Who
dat
dat
nation.
is Saints, and who day is the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
second favorite team is who day. Yeah, nah,
Who
you
they?
did
Who
not
that?
pick the
Who
Saints
they?
at all.
That's funny.
And then my biggest teams I picked for and picked against.
Let me hear this.
So it was a three-way tie. I picked 3 teams 5 times. I picked the Giants 5 times. Oh no, actually, excuse me. I picked the Giants 6 times. So it's the Giants. The Giants were my number 1 team. I picked the Giants
There you
6
go.
times, and I picked the Bengals and the Steelers 5 times each.
Damn.
Yeah, that was how that went down. And then the team I picked against the most,
Washington.
2 teams were tied. Washington? No, not Washington. I only picked against Washington 3 times. I picked against Houston and Seattle both 5 times each. Those are the 2 teams I faded the most. So yeah, full audits here. Do you guys have any
What's your
questions
record
about
again? What's your
teams?
record? What's your record with the teams that you went against?
The teams I went against. Okay, so my record against Houston, I was 2-3 for minus 3 points total, and against Seattle, I went 4-1 for 7 points.
Damn.
I ate off.
You was
Seattle
on it.
this year. Yeah,
You was
ate off
on
this
Seattle, huh?
year. So now in terms of the points plus minus that you got from a team, Flex. The team do you know the team that you had the best plus minus got the most points off of this year, picking this year?
That'd be the Jets.
No. I didn't really think about that, but no, I do not.
It's a team that you only picked 3 times, but
Denver.
you went 3-0.
Denver.
No, Detroit. You picked the Lions 3 times, 2 points each time for a total of plus 6. That was your highest team that you picked for. The highest, the best team that you faded was the Packers. You went 4-3 against the Packers for a total of 4 points. Word
I
life.
got to keep going to the well.
Word life. The team that hurt you the most picking them
Gotta be the Giants.
was the Giants. Yes, you for a negative 9 points. The team you scored the most points picking them. Do you know?
Rams?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yep, the Rams. You went 3-1 picking the Rams for a total of 6 points. And my team that I picked, that I scored the most points picking, for me was,
Giants?
No, was not the Giants. I actually broke even with the Giants. I picked them 6 times. I got 2 1-point picks wrong and a 3-point pick wrong, and I got 2 1-point picks right and a 3-point pick right. So I ended up with 0.
Yeah, you was on them at the end.
The team that I was eating the most picking this year,
Titans.
future New England Patriots coach Mike Vrabel, baby. That was my guy this year. Mike Vrabel for a total of 8 points. And then my second best team was the Ravens. I picked them 4 times. It was 4-0 for 7 points.
Yeah.
The
That's
team
dope.
that killed me picking against them, thankfully none really hurt me that bad. Houston bit me. Houston got me for actually it was San Francisco. San Francisco got me for -5. I went 1-3 against San Fran. Now, are there any teams that you're interested in how many times you picked them or how many times you went against them or what your score was? Just to recap the year, if there's any teams that you feel like you picked a bunch of times or you feel like you went against them a bunch of times or you feel like they burned you a bunch of times or you feel like
The Raiders.
You got it a bunch of times. The Raiders in terms of picking them or picking against them?
Either.
Okay, so picking against the Raiders was your worst. You were -7 picking the Raiders. You went 1-4.
Yeah.
Picking
I kept banking on Antonio Pierce falling flat.
And
Did
then
not work.
picking the Raiders, I don't think. Okay, you picked them once and you got that one right, so you were +1 with the Raiders. Word life. Any teams that you're interested in?
Let me know what I did with the Jets. I feel like I picked them a few times, maybe twice.
You picked them twice. You got them both wrong. They burned you. But you only picked them for 1-point pick, so you lost 2 points on the Jets this season.
Gotcha.
Picking against the Jets. Did you pick against them? Yes, you picked against them twice. Both times 3-point picks. Both times got them wrong, so -6. So with the Jets, you had a total of they hurt you. Total of I don't think you got one pick right with the Jets. Yeah, no.
Dang.
Picking them
crazy.
and picking against them, they hurt you. Yeah.
Damn.
But anyway, I wrote these things down. I'll type them up and maybe I'll post them or I'll definitely send them to you. But maybe I'll post them up somewhere.
Yeah, that's dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah. So, but because I was curious to see just to kind of follow trends in terms of was there a team that throughout the course of the season I was looking at and I just kept on thinking that they were, inflated, or was there a team that I kept on? And it made sense to me that it was Houston because I remember first half of the season I kept on getting bit by Houston. Like I feel like I can remember trying to.
I know the
fade them a couple
Bengals.
times.
I remember the Bengals one. The Bengals one. That was one, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
When they got me
beat down.
Yeah.
No, they got.
We went against. I think we went against each other.
Yeah,
that Bengals,
I remember the Bengals one, and I remember the Steelers one well because I remember the Steelers were going into Houston, and I was like, I thought it was going to be one of those Tomlin spots, but it wasn't. The Tomlin spots were tougher to spot this year.
They're sporadic. Yeah, they were sporadic.
Yeah,
They're sporadic.
I feel like they kind of. Usually, I feel like we have a good read on when the Steelers Tomlin kind of underdog bounce back type of spot is gonna be, but this year I feel like it was a weird roller coaster.
Yeah, it was. I think it has a lot to do with the quarterback.
Yeah, it
You know
has
what
to
I'm
do. He has no quarterback.
But I'm saying not only the quarterback position, but the changing and Pickett, it was hurt, and then they got Mason Rudolph, and then they got Trubisky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they got both. Who's hurt? So
Yo, Rudolph, man, I'm so happy Rudolph is back, so I can laugh, man. I forgot how funny.
He's definitely the best one, though.
Nah, of best
I don't know,
quarterback,
man.
Out of them three.
Well, I don't see. Here's the way that it's interesting you say that because the way that I look at Mason Rudolph is I feel like I know he's not good, and I feel like I know Trubisky's not good. I don't know what Kenny Pickett is yet. At least that's how I feel. Maybe some people think they know that he's bad, maybe, but I feel like
he's bad.
I feel like I haven't. I feel like Pickett, he's had a lot of, he had a bad OC for the beginning of his career, pretty much. He didn't have a traditional start to his career. Like, he didn't start week 1. Like, he didn't go into it. This year was the first season that he went into it as the starter. He didn't go into last year as the starter. So he kind of came in. He went in the Jets game. That was the first his first NFL
I don't know if that was week 5 maybe? Or week
I don't think it was that deep. I think it might
week 4, it was week 4, week 5.
Yeah, but so he didn't, so he just kind of got thrown in mid-season last year. And then this season, he started out the season and then he got hurt. And so I just feel like I feel like he still has in my mind, still has a chance to be better. Whereas Rudolph and Trubisky are what they are. I've seen enough of both of them that I don't know what. So if you want to tell me, as far as what you're saying in terms of Rudolph being the best one, I wouldn't argue with that. Like, if you tell me, like, for this week, Rudolph is supposed to be starting the game, and I think that if they're trying to win, that's probably the best quarterback, the best choice for this week, for today. But as far as who's the best and who would, I know Mason Rudolph isn't a good quarterback, so like, maybe they'll all be trash, but I know I feel comfortable in saying that I know what he is.
I also think, like, the other thing with Kenny Pickett is that he's not young either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's got to be almost 26.
25, 26.
Yeah. So it's like, I know it's like, that's part of the thing is like, when are you topped out? So it's like, maybe he was decent, because he was on a promising path last year when he came in or whatever. Then the way he kind of finished up.
And that's the other thing, is that I
down.
feel like last year I saw improvement. Like, I saw him getting better from the Jets game to the end of the season. I feel like he kind of came into the Jets game and there were some things that I saw that I was like, oh, maybe this kid, maybe he's got something. And then we're like, you say something? Are you muted? I thought you said something that I didn't hear it.
Nah, I muted my shit because I was yelling.
No, you good. Yeah, so I feel like he had like a little bit of a valley last year, and then he kind of finished up strong, and then this season I feel like the Steelers got off to a weird start, at least offensively.
It was weird. It was a weird season for them.
Yeah,
but look, they ended up in the same spot they usually do, though.
So I'm not really comfortable saying I know that Kenny Pickett is not good. I'm definitely not comfortable saying I know he is good. I don't know what I have not closed the book on him, whereas I feel like I know what Rudolph and these dudes are, but
yeah. No, I could agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. But it's not looking good.
No, it's definitely not looking good. But it's already not looked good for Rudolph. That's why I say, like, I've already seen Rudolph not look good, and if you made me put all my money on who do I think has a chance to be a starter for a playoff team, 18 weeks next year, and you tell me I gotta bet on Pickett or Rudolph, I'm never gonna bet on Rudolph in that one.
Yeah.
Fact.
I mean, also it's like we've seen enough of Rudolph over the years. Like Kenny Pickett, there's still that little bit of
I haven't seen enough of Rudolph. I can't get enough of Rudolph. I'm hoping that there's another helmet incident in the because he's the helmet champ.
Also, were you guys surprised? Because when I saw him on the sideline they mentioned that Kenny Pickett didn't want to be the backup quarterback. I didn't even know that he was cleared to play again. Like, so he was like demoted, like pretty much benched. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, I just pictured, he's just hurt. And then when I saw that he was like, that he's not, I was like, oh, wait, hold up. Like, I didn't really get it because I didn't really hear much about it.
Yeah, I did hear, like, I'm the same as you. Like, I was, but that's the kind of funny thing about him is that I think the reason why, like, from both just a watching the games standpoint and also from a betting standpoint, Kenny Pickett doesn't move the needle for me in any way, right? So, like, it doesn't move the needle for Tomlin. I'm not a Steelers fan, so I have nothing invested in, is Kenny Pickett going to come back? I want to see Kenny Pickett again. Like, I don't care. I want to know what the number is. I want to know who's playing so I can bet on it. So I wasn't even checking to see if he's coming back. Like, had it been another quarterback that actually, not to be fucked up, but that, like, kind of matters to the number and to the result, I would have been watching that more closely. But, yeah, so Pickett apparently was cleared to play. But to me, it was a wash anyway. Whether it's him or it's Rudolph, it doesn't really make too much of a difference in terms of how I think the game is going to go. So that's why I really wasn't watching it that closely. And, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I just think Tomlin, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there. There's all kinds of weird conversation and rumors coming out of Pittsburgh regarding Tomlin and what his future is, what his status is. And I don't know, like, part of me, like, I'm a Tomlin guy, but part of me is kind of like, in terms of what his relationship is with the Steelers fan base, the local Pittsburgh Steelers fan base, I think he gotta be careful, because I'm already starting to hear the chatter about how could you have left Rudolph on the bench all this time when he's clearly so much better than Pickett? And now I'm like I don't begrudge him. Like I said, I think starting Rudolph this week is the right move. It's the right thing to do. I just think he has to, if he cares about staying in Pittsburgh and wants to be the coach there, he got to be careful with how he manages the young quarterback situation, because you don't want to end up playing the Brian Flores game, because Brian Flores had everybody in Miami thinking that Tua was trash because of the way he handled the whole situation. And is it going to be Tua? Is it going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick? And like, listen, I kind of get what Brian Flores was doing, because he's trying to win games, and he's not. And he was on
thin ice anyway, apparently.
Well, yeah, he had all kinds of problems, but he's not a defensive coach, and he had different priorities than Mike McDaniel, right? Like, Mike McDaniel's priority is he wants a quarterback that's going to be accurate, that gets rid of the ball quickly, and he's really overseeing hands-on with the Miami Dolphins offense. Whereas Brian Flores, he's overseeing more of the whole thing. He's a defensive guy. He just wants a quarterback that's going to be efficient and not turn the ball over.
I'm going to win 6-9.
And he wants the more veteran guy, but going back to Tomlin, I just feel like he got to be a little bit careful with the way that he handles this type of situation, because, like I said, I don't think Rudolph is the answer in the future. And
he's not.
The idea that Steelers fans are the crazy thing to me is that if anybody should know Mason Rudolph's not good, it should be Steelers fans. Like, they should know better than anybody that he's not the guy, he's not the answer. But now all of a sudden, like, Pickett gets hurt, Rudolph comes in and wins a couple games, and the fans are all, how could you have left this? You had the guy on the bench the whole time, and I'm like, y'all wild. But Tomlin got to just be a little bit careful, because if it's not gonna look good on him if this whole quarterback situation doesn't play out.
I don't know. I think he's played it kind of right though, because he's had the injuries happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the injury happened. They brought in Trubisky. That was a disaster. And then bringing in Mason Rudolph, like, I understand him. He's doing the same thing that you're kind of saying, where it's like, maybe he still thinks that Kenny Pickett is better, and let's say he might be, right? But if he takes Mason Rudolph out after this decent stretch of offense and wins, if Kenny Pickett, loses, goes in the opposite direction, then it's even more of a hot seat for him. So he's kind of like in a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation, which is kind of just like product of like what the atmosphere that's happening in Pittsburgh around him as a coach, where it's like, no matter what, like it's like he's almost like the Bill Belichick, but without the Super Bowls, where it's like, the team is always going to come to play. When his teams are bad, he's not even the one that's picking the players. So, that's not on him. And he's pretty much doing. He has a very high floor. I don't know how high his ceiling is. He has won a Super Bowl, so so you could argue that point. But the thing is, it's like, like these teams aren't that, like, there's not stars on these teams. And that's a chicken or the egg type thing. But it's
Which
like
teams? Are we still talking about the Steelers or
the Steelers?
Yeah.
It's like there's not really a star on that team. Like,
yeah, that's my thing. I feel like Steelers fans are, if they have an expectation that this team should be vastly better than it is right now, especially offensively, I think that they're deluding themselves, because I don't know that, like, I don't think they have superior talent really anywhere on the, like, I think their wide receivers are extremely overrated. I think I mean, I think George Pickens
Running backs, right?
George Pickens could play, but as far as
When
the
he
2
wants
and
to.
3, they don't got nothing. They got nothing there. They don't have a difference maker outside of him. They don't have a difference maker at tight end. They don't. I mean, Jaylen Warren probably. See, Jaylen Warren, I don't really know because he could be
He's
the
fun.
classic case of the running back who he could be a Tony Pollard, right? Tony
Yeah.
Pollard, everybody was, oh, we got to get rid of Zeke Elliott. Tony Pollard, like you look every time he gets the ball, explosive plays, all this shit last year, right? And then coming into this season, Zeke is gone. Tony Pollard's
oh,
supposed to be the man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
supposed
you
to
got
be
the
the
juice
every
now.
down back. And now what happened? Like he was the huge
Yeah.
disappointment, and Rico Dowdle is over here, getting
Yeah, I
10
fucking
carries a game.
in the fantasy episode, if y'all recall, I said that shit. I was like, he reminds me of fucking Willie Parker. Once, and it's funny because we're talking about the Steelers, and it's kind of
Yeah.
fits. And I remember saying, he gives me the vibe of, yeah, he's explosive, but when you give him the starting role, I don't think he's gonna be as dynamic. And just like Willie Parker, I made the comparison between them, and I think it came true. I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
it's a
I mean,
perfect
at least
comparison
for
because
week one.
you had the incumbent vet kind of on his last legs.
Power
the
back
younger,
too.
exactly, power back, same similar running style, and then you paired him with the young, fast explosive back. Everybody's clamoring for the fast explosive back to get the bulk, the lion's share of the carries, just like they were with Willie Parker, and then Willie Parker fell on his face when it was time for him to be the man.
Yeah, similar.
I
very
mean,
similar.
also-
It's only
and I
one
mean,
year
also-
though, but we'll see.
But I mean, also look at like
Yeah,
Jaylen Warren.
thanks.
He fumbles a lot, man. Like anytime, like that's why you need thunder and lightning. Every team needs thunder and lightning, and that should be their roles. Like, like doing this shit where it's like, we got Raheem Mostert. Oh, yo, no, you got to give it to Devon Achane, and then Devon Achane gets hurt, every couple games that he's back. So it's like, and I mean, granted, so does Raheem
Yeah.
Mostert, but the thing is, yeah, but my point is, it's like, yo, running backs, you can't really trust a running back to put like that put that backpack on and is gonna drag you anywhere, because all it takes is like some dude going low on your knees, and you're done. I mean, look at what they did. Like, for example, the with Alex Madison, like. Oh, they thought they could get rid of Dalvin Cook. Granted, Dalvin Cook looked a little washed or whatever, so it's not a great example. But I'm saying, like, they were more willing to get rid of Dalvin Cook because Alex Madison, every time he came in, spelling Dalvin Cook when he got hurt or when he had to come out, looked amazing. And then they put they put that on his back this year, and he looked like a back. He looked like a backup at times. So you know what I'm saying? It's like some running backs need their roles. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to separate, and kind of you have to be like, as a team, you gotta have to like realize that, sometimes he's got it, sometimes he's got it. Like, you know how it is. Like, you wake up, sometimes that three is falling, sometimes that three isn't. So instead of when you miss five, throw that ball. You know what I'm saying? Pass that ball off. Stop. You can't keep going 0 for 12 from three. Like, because the next game you might wake up and go 9 for 9 at threes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything is like, it depends on what side of the bed you woke up in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the Steelers fans are overrating the talent there. If they're disappointed in Tomlin for not doing more with that roster, I don't know what they're looking at, but that remains to be seen. I guess what happens. I mean, the fact that he took this team to 10 wins, to 10-7 in one of the best divisions we ever seen.
Right.
A division that had no one with a losing record, and he still manages to take a team to the playoffs in that division, win 10 games with I think that I forget what the exact record was, but I think they were like 9-3 in non-Trubisky games. Like, only the games he started or the games he came in relief were like a large portion of the games that they lost. So it's like the guy don't have he don't have a quarterback. Yeah. So he doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, I guess he's trying to develop a quarterback, but he's not an offensive guy, so he's relying on the OC to develop the quarterback. The OC's not getting it done. He doesn't have a ton of skill position players to help him out. As I'm talking about Kenny Pickett, like he don't have a big time receiver that is gonna win one-on-ones every time, and he doesn't have a great offensive line. They don't have all of a sudden Najee Harris decided to crawl out of his grave and have a couple games at the end of the season, but he's been garbage all year, which is why we had the whole Jaylen Warren thing. But they don't have a lot of pieces, period, on offense.
By far they have the least amount of stars and the least amount of talent in that division by far, because if you look, there's stars all over.
Yeah, that's
division.
True. Word.
You know what I'm saying? And on both sides of the ball, like there's no star for the Steelers. There's no star on the offensive side, and there's one, maybe two and a half on defense, which is Minkah Fitzpatrick. I don't really, and does he move the needle like that? TJ Watt, we see what happens when TJ Watt doesn't play. Yeah. And then, Highsmith, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that,
but we're not giving Pickens his respect.
Nah.
George Pickens?
I know you don't like him, but.
No.
No, I'm talking about Flex. I know Flex don't like him, but I'm
Flex
saying
is not going to give him his respect.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is
I'm not disrespecting George Pickens.
No, but I said he is good. He's good, but you just don't know.
What's gonna happen? Yeah, he's always
he's
had
the
the
perfect.
opportunity.
He's the perfect example of you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
See, but that I don't even know that I like. Similar to the way that I look at Pickett, I also extend that same leash to George Pickens as well, because when you're the only dude and you know that every week that you're the only person that the the opposing defense is trying to stop, and on top of that you don't have another big time receiver on the other side, you don't have a big time tight end, you don't have a quarterback that can get you the rock, and you don't have an OC that anybody believes in. So like, with all that being said, I can't really, like, the whole, did he block? Did he give max effort and all that shit? Like, that shit, you could pick out a bunch of dudes in the NFL that don't get highlighted like that. He got highlighted like that because, people are pointing out, what the Steelers are doing, and they're more, their team that's kind of winning games, they're losing games. There's been a lot of more questions about them, but that's why, like, I'm not gonna really hold that against him yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not what you want to see, but I still can't. Like I said, the same way that I kind of extend a little bit of a leash to Pickett, and I can't really say I know what he is or what he isn't until they have a little bit more of a cohesion and some more pieces around him that can be, relied upon. Same thing with Pickens. Like, I need to see Pickens with a function. The offense was completely dysfunctional from the beginning of the season. So, like, I can't really even look at Pickens in terms of, what am I going to get from him every week? What am I going to get from the quarterback every week? I can't know what I'm getting from Pickens every week when we don't know what the hell the offense was completely dysfunctional every single game. So that's why I'm like, I can't say, I don't know what I'm getting from George Pickens every week, because who knows if it was a change of scenery, or if he had a better quarterback, or if the offense was a little bit more, had a little bit more of a rhythm to it. Maybe you see a different level of production and different consistency out of George Pickens if the offense itself was more consistent.
And that's this week's Pits of the Iceberg, folks. Pits of the Pittsburgh. This only Steelers podcast in New York.
He went for 1,000.
Who, Pickens?
Pickens, yeah.
Well, yeah, he had a couple good games. Like, I wanted to move on, but anything like when you said about the big tight end. Well, once Pat Frymouth came back, it kind of like loosened up a little bit to like what you were saying, like Bobby, like where he had a couple like decent games, and even like if it was like 1 or 2 receptions or whatever, he had a couple long plays. But maybe that's a product of like the the help that they can't give on the inside because Frymouth is there.
So, speaking of Tomlin and speaking of coaches, we don't know what's going to happen with Mike Tomlin. There's still these rumors about him maybe walking away or maybe getting fired. Who knows? I don't think either of those things are going to happen, but it remains to be seen. But we do know that there have been some coaching vacancies that have popped up in the last couple of days. It's been kind of crazy. There's been a lot of things that we kind of expected to happen. A lot of things that kind of seem to kind of come out of nowhere. My personal favorite one that I keep close to my heart was the Arthur Smith. That was amazing. I want to get that. I want to get that tattooed on my arm somehow. If I can get like a hologram or gift tattoo of him and Dennis Allen having that post game. Oh my God, it was amazing. And then on my other arm, I'll get Jameis Winston. That's what I want to do. But we got vacancies in Tennessee. We got a vacancy in Atlanta. We got a vacancy in New England. We got a vacancy in Seattle. And then, of course, we have the vacancies that are... I think everybody knew Ron Rivera was going to get fired.
That seemed like it happened.
But there's no vacancy there.
Yeah,
halfway during the season.
Exactly. Like it's like that shit was announced the same day, pretty on the Black Monday, right? But
exactly.
It felt like it wasn't even news. Like it was. Like, we already knew that.
So what?
Yeah.
Like I thought that happened already. And the funny part is there's not a vacancy job there. There's not a vacant position there.
Now
what do you mean?
The enemy.
Oh yeah, well he's not getting that.
No.
Nah.
Now have the Raiders officially announced what they're doing with Antonio Pierce? Because that I haven't caught.
No, I think they're waiting to see what else shakes loose. Okay. Like because they mentioned.
Because that's kind of weird, no? Because it's like if they're waiting to see like if because don't they have to kind of make a decision on him, yay or nay, before?
Well, I mean the thing with Antonio Pierce is like I think it's like he's kind of in a position where like he'll wait as long as he has to. You know, it's
don't
not
know
like
what his contract situation is, right?
Yeah, and exactly, and like is anybody else clamoring for Antonio Pierce somewhere else?
What was his original role? Was he?
He was
wasn't
the
DC?
assistant.
He's a linebackers coach.
No, and the assistant defensive. He might have been the assistant defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, or defensive assistant. I don't know. But yeah, I just think he, like specifically, I think, like they know what they're doing with him, so it's like that. They kind of fucked. In my opinion, what I'm seeing is it's kind of fucked up because it's like, oh, we know that you're dying for this job, so we're gonna keep you here. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's like, if Jim Harbaugh, if we can get Jim Harbaugh, that's what we're gonna go for because, like, I don't know if you heard it, but they said that Al Davis wants a star, which I don't know how many times he's going to go into the same well and realize that doesn't
Al
work
Davis
for
is
him.
dead, right? How could he want a star?
Well, the ghost of Al Davis, which is his son, it might be the ghost of Al Davis because you remember how Al Davis used to
Al Davis' son looks like the ghost of Al Davis' son. He looks dead already.
Yeah. I mean, y'all remember when like he used to just draft players like the way they looked, the way they threw the ball, the way they ran.
Exactly.
Like this is like
insert Jamarcus Russell joke here, or insert Henry Ruggs here,
and Darius Hayward Bay. Because he ran like
Darius Hayward Bay. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about him. Another steal.
Yeah, for example, like I feel like that when Al Davis did that, like Mark Davis is doing the coach version of that.
Even the dude they took, who was the running back? That was another one of those star picks. The Alabama. Well, he was Arkansas, right? What was his name? You know who I'm talking about, right? He was from Arkansas, I thought.
No.
Darren something? Was it Darren something? What was his name? You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yes,
the running
I
back
do
they
know.
drafted.
Yeah,
he had a
yeah, yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
He
yeah.
had a crazy 40 time. Like, cause I'm just saying in terms of like
Who?
freak athletes that he just wanted him. Cause like he just like I think he had one of the best combine
Yeah,
performances that
he had
year.
like a
But
four, like
he was
a.
highly
If
rated, but like
anybody,
they still reached
if
for him.
anybody ran 4.26, Al Davis was drafting him.
Yeah.
It was he had he had a nice shape up too. I picture him. I think he was number 20. He might have been number 26,
Yeah, I think
like
he
his
was
jersey number.
26.
I
Yeah,
just can't remember his
I
name.
can't remember his name, but
I'll
anyway.
look it up.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. What I think would be amazing, if he wants a star, the biggest star available is Belichick. Bring Belichick. Brady is the partial owner of the squad. He has his man's Garoppolo already
Jimmy G?
there that he wanted to coach, and that was part of the reason why he fell out with Kraft. It's perfect.
It does make a lot of sense.
Perfect.
And and they have an interim GM. I think Mark Davis he wants somebody so badly that he'd be willing to maybe let him keep GMing to a certain
He'd be one
extent.
of the only ones that would be willing to let him do that. I'm telling you,
because he's
Belichick to the Raiders is where it's at.
I like that. I like that.
Like, I know that a lot of people have been saying the Washington thing, but I mean, I feel like people want to make that a thing because, he really loved Lombardi, and that was where Lombardi went. Yeah, Lombardi went there, and, RIP, he died on the job. Like,
yeah, no,
I don't know what kind of...
I don't see Belichick doing that.
And also, I think I don't see Belichick going somewhere that's like they're saying, Belichick, he can go and they got the number 2 pick and he takes Drake May. Yo, Belichick is trying to win these games past Shula and get the fuck up out of here. He's not trying to do another 15 years again with a rookie quarterback.
Hell no.
Like, I think he's trying to get these dubs and get up out of here. And
Darren McFadden.
He ain't, there you go, Darren McFadden. He ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do that in Washington. Washington, that team that's a ground up rebuild. You get the new quarterback. They gutted all their defensive picks that they had. The defense is trash. They don't have any personnel there. Like, that's a total rebuild. Why would 90-year-old Bill Belichick trying to pass the record? Why would he go to Washington?
That's why
Washington.
I said it I said it to a couple of my friends. His best spot would be the fucking New York Jets, but he hates the Jets.
Yeah, that was never gonna happen.
That would be the best spot, though. It's a super defense already. It's already there. The veteran quarterback is there. You know what I mean?
I mean, in theory, yes. Like, that's what he's looking for. But it's not.
But how crazy would it be if he did end up in the Raiders? How crazy would that division coaching be? Depending on who ends up going to the Chargers, it would be Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Belichick, and then whoever ends up coaching the Chargers. That'd be crazy.
Like, just like an old school, like old coaches coach battle.
Yeah,
like,
for real. Like
winner takes all.
Yeah, for real. Like, all they would have to be
Tomlin. That'd be ill if they throw Tomlin in.
Yo, yeah, imagine. And there were rumors of Belichick going to the Chargers too. When people knew long ago that Brandon. I mean, it feels like 2 years ago that Brandon Staley got fired.
Yeah,
but also that's another interesting one in terms of, like, they also don't have a GM there.
Yeah.
So.
But they also don't have any money, and I think
that's another thing.
Try to collect a check. Like, I think he's.
Yeah, but also, the Raiders don't have that much money either, man.
The Raiders don't have that much money, but I don't know. I feel like I could see, because they're making a lot more money now that they moved to Vegas.
Yeah, and all the peripheral stuff.
A lot more revenue being the Vegas team, and the Spanos didn't get any benefits from moving. They lost money moving to LA. And
because they're paying rent on the first. You know what I'm saying?
They really
that's an embarrassing. Like, that's an embarrassing organization. Like, I know there's bad organizations. Like, I'm a fan of one of them. But that's, like, embarrassing. Where, like, it's it's like, yo, you got to ask somebody to like play in like pretty much ask somebody to play on Sunday. Like, yo, can we sleep over? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like so weak, and like following them there as well. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like they had their own opportunities. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just so strange. Like for an organization that has like star potential, like to and also like a history where there's like decent players in there, and just like kind of being a second class organization.
So, who is who is going to coach Tennessee, and who's going to coach Carolina? Like, who wants either of those jobs?
Those are terrible.
Because
those
I know people were talking
jobs.
about Harbaugh. I'm just like, I mean, the only thing I could think, if Harbaugh is just trying to get, if he's just trying to get paid, I think probably, I don't know, like,
Carolina.
and you can't really know what Tepper is gonna do, because on one hand, I look at it like he's, he clearly has proven that he's just willing to hire and fire coaches. I mean, how many games did Reich get? 7, 8? Like, he's coached 8 games, didn't even coach a full season.
Yo, he got a 4 or 5 year like. I want to, you know what? I want to be Frank Reich. That's what I want. He's getting paid by 2 different organizations.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ends up, washing over when you get a job. But the thing is that, like, so I don't know. I feel like everybody has to have a limit. I feel like, no, I know Tepper got money, but can he keep on paying these coaches to not coach? I don't think so. Like, not eventually he has to decide who he's going to stick with. And if that's now, I feel like maybe he just decides this is the last big check. I'm going to just throw everything, everything left in the bank to get Harbaugh here, and I'm not going to fire him. Mm-hmm. He's a star. I'm gonna give him, more leash, and I'm gonna give him more respect than I gave to a Reich or a Rule.
Yeah.
Is he willing to do that? And would Harbaugh want to go there? I have no idea. I don't think that would. I think Harbaugh would probably have options. I don't think his first choice would be the Panthers, but I don't know how driven by money he is. If he is driven by money, I think that they maybe could steal him over there. But besides that, who with options is going to coach the Panthers? Like,
no, they're both gonna get like the coach,
because I think Ben Johnson from the Lions turned them down last year, right?
Yeah, and it's worse this year. So those two teams are gonna get the guys that only interview for 1 or 2 places and don't get them. Like, they're not gonna get the guys that everybody wants.
Wow. So basically, people that we've never heard of or have loosely heard of.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we can agree Vrabel is going to be the Patriots coach, right? That just.
I mean, it should be. That's what it should be.
I just feel like that makes too much sense. Because
that's perfect fit.
Who wants to succeed Bill Belichick in New England? Like, who would want to take that burden on? The only person that it makes sense that would be able to do that has the respect of the fan base, that they will give him they would give him more of a leash than they give some no-name from another organization. Like, they bring in Vrabel, he comes back conquering hero. Like, they're not going to be killing him after week 5.
No, and
anybody else is going to get buried.
There's probably people in the organization that he's comfortable with staying in their roles.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it makes perfect sense, but I mean, like, they have been saying for like 5 years about Gerard Mayo being the guy that when Bill Belichick, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
I think 5 years is exaggeration. I don't know that I've been hearing it for 5 years.
No, it's been at least 3 years where they've said, like, he's like the guy who protege who's going to take over.
Because I remember when McDaniels stiffed the Colts, it was because they changed their mind and it was going to be McDaniels. That was just 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I think he went back there after. I don't know. I just know that Gerard Mayo's
No,
been
no, no. I know.
mentioned
I know
for-
he's been
for-
mentioned, but for me, it's been a little bit more of a recent thing. Like I know that I know that he was being thrown around. He's been being thrown around for a while, but it never really felt real to me. That never really felt like it had any real legs until this season, because we didn't really see. It wasn't until this season that we really saw the end was near for Belichick.
And I'm just saying, like, just in terms of like, do you want to be like the team that put that out there, that was like the guy that they were gonna, pass the thing out, like the franchise to, and then see like this we got this white guy coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know you want to try to talk yourself into Vrabel's not going to come and be the coach and hurt the Jets. I know you want to talk yourself into it. But this idea that do they want to be the ones that said that they were going to... First of all, I don't know that they've ever publicly made a press release and said we're going to hire Gerard Mayo, that now they can't walk it back.
They obviously not.
And... even if they did, they bring a white guy. It's not a white guy. It's fucking Mike Vrabel. He won championships with them. If they brought in some other no-name that has no connection to the organization, then you have a leg to stand on.
No.
But it's not like they're going to leapfrog Gerard Mayo for nobody. It's for Mike Vrabel, a guy who beat them in the playoffs a couple years ago.
I'm not saying there. I'm saying, the outside shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously, I don't know how much it matters.
I don't think anybody will question it. I think everybody would celebrate it. It just makes too much sense. I don't see anybody coming on and saying, "Oh, how could they have done this to Gerard Mayo, bringing in Vrabel?" No one's saying that. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I know you want to believe that.
Is McDaniel?
No, I'm just
Daniels back with them?
Who?
No.
Josh McDaniels?
Yeah.
No, that dude is a pariah.
I don't think so. But who knows? It wouldn't shock me if he went back there either. I mean, because...
No way.
I thought he went back because he did that with the Colts.
That's what I'm saying. He went back with the Colts. That wouldn't shock me. I think it would be a mistake, and I mean it would surprise me. It wouldn't shock me. Like
that's what I would root for if I were.
I would root for it too. If I was a fan of any of the AFC East teams, I'd be praying that they bring this nigga Josh McDaniels back. Hell yeah, please bring him back. I would be. I would just be rooting anybody but Vrabel. But anybody but Vrabel. I would not want to see Vrabel coming in there.
I could see Vrabel. I could see Vrabel in San Diego. No.
Coaching who? They don't have a team.
Nah. He's in Chargers. I feel like I see Harbaugh there before I see.
Why do you see Vrabel in Sandy and with the Chargers?
Well, just only
What's the
because
connection there?
No, just like he just kind of looks like. I don't know. You can picture him on the sideline.
You can, because you don't want to picture him on the sidelines with the Patriots.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like having that quarterback already established. Like, I could.
Yeah, because Mike Vrabel's proven to us that he really cares about having an established quarterback.
Well, but the thing is, it's like he's never had one. So, like, I feel like he has him being a defensive coach is like, if I got that, I could figure the rest of the shit out. You know.
So
what
let me
I'm
ask you
like,
something. You think Mike Vrabel would choose to go to the Chargers to coach this kid Herbert, rather than go back home to New England with the number 3 overall pick and you could take whatever quarterback he wants?
No, he'd be taking whatever quarterback's left over.
No, he would be taking the quarterback that he wants from what's left over. He would be taking what's with the Chargers.
Yeah, but I'm.
The only way I could see.
And the other thing is that you know, the large reasoning behind the rift that ended up with Vrabel bouncing from the Titans was his lack of control with his butting heads with the GM and his lack of control of the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think
to me,
control?
That tells me that if like that, to me, that means that translates to somebody who it would be appealing to them to be able to have that opportunity to have a high draft pick over going somewhere where they have no connection there. He has no juice in with the
I see what you're saying there, but also I think that maybe the
And the
Patriots
Chargers defense
realized
is
that.
trash.
But I'm saying, like, maybe the Patriots realized that the problem with the current state of the team is because the head coach that wanted, to do, to do the picking of the players and everything like that. So I don't. Maybe they want to have the two separate roles to where it's like, okay,
Okay,
we got
that's
this
fine,
guy
but now
and
you're
this guy.
saying two separate things. We went from you saying you could see Vrabel with the Chargers because of the quarterback, and now the Patriots might not want him, or they might not want to give him control. These are two different things.
No, because that's the response to you saying he can pick any quarterback he wants, and also he can go there and kind of, since there's no GM, kind of do what he
Yeah,
wants.
but okay, pick the quarterback that he wants. You're trying to tell me that the Patriots are so turned off by the personnel decisions and having had the coach make all of the roster decisions. They're so turned off by that the guy who comes in to coach them next, they're not going to give him say into the quarterback that they draft, the future of the
Well,
franchise.
no, I'm saying, like, obviously the
Whether it's
quarterback,
Vrabel or anybody, I would have to assume that they're going to have some input in who the quarterback they draft.
No,
is
of
going
course,
to be.
of course, I'm going to the extent of how Bill Belichick kind of did the.
Okay, but
you
that's
know, how
not
he
that's not
handled
what I was saying. I'm just making the comparison that you're saying that wouldn't he want to go to the Chargers because the quarterback is in place, and I'm saying I would rather. I see him preferring to go home to the Patriots where there is no quarterback in place, and he can have input into who the young quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, wait to see.
Yeah, and the Chargers can't pick another defensive fucking coach. They can't do that. But that's the only reason.
Did they have a defensive coach though? Did they?
I mean,
he was the only time the only time he was the defensive coach was when they were asking him about how his
I'm gonna call the plays.
who was going to call the defensive plays, and he got all defensive. That was the only defense we ever saw.
That's the only. That's the only way I could see him there, though, is because the fucking franchise is a fucking shit show. That's the only way. Like, they want to turn off as many fans as possible. Like, let's get a defensive coach in here again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see who fills these vacancies.
This is gonna be fascinating
because I don't like the Chargers. It's weird because on one hand, I kind of feel like, you know what? It's funny because you say the fans don't want to see another defensive coach. I don't even. The Chargers have fucked their fans over so much. I don't even know what their fans want.
Yeah.
Because their fans don't even go to the games. Their fans don't have fans. Like, not that they don't have fans, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they have some big fan base that's going to be, they're going to be upset if they hire a defensive coach. Like, it seems like that fan base doesn't really have any influence at all to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird what they've done over there that, I don't even know if the San Diego fans have remained fans of the team because they had this whole fantasy. Oh, it's only LA. They'll drive up. I don't know about that.
Nah.
Phony fans.
Yeah.
Phony fans.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know who wants to go to the Chargers. I definitely don't know who wants to go to the Panthers. And the Titans, I mean, I feel like Vrabel kind of gave them some juice, and now that Vrabel's gone, what's appealing about that job? Derrick Henry's
out,
gone.
Yeah. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have draft picks. What do you have there?
DeAndre Hopkins, like.
Wait, he was on a 1-year deal, right? Isn't he?
No, but what I'm saying that's like that feels like what was that team like with the when the Red they were the Redskins back then, but when they got all those old players like
that was
Deion Sanders, it's like like where they had like the dream squad, but it was like of 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to do that when it didn't work anyway, but like when you're this close to winning and you have a coach already there, nobody wants to go.
And wasn't Joe Gibbs coach? Speaking of old ass people, wasn't he the coach of that team?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and we brought, and no, as a matter of fact, they brought back the guy that won Super Bowls back in the day for them. So it was like, let's assemble the old team. But it's like not the replacements, the Expendables.
Yeah.
Where it's like we got all these, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So maybe the
he's 60
Chargers
years.
bring in Schottenheimer.
Oh, he's dead.
Well, no, the son.
Oh, okay.
He's not dead, is he? Brian?
Reborn. Schottenheimer reborn.
But isn't Brian kicking around somewhere? I feel like Brian Schottenheimer's always.
He should be
lurking
alive.
somewhere.
Yeah, he's always in the weeds.
All right. So speaking of the weeds, this has nothing to do with the weeds, but that's the best I can do in terms of a transition. Are we ready to pick
Your
these?
leads.
Are we ready to pick these games?
I'm ready to watch
Let's
these
go.
games.
All right, let's do it. Let's get these picks in. We're gonna do a snake draft. We're not gonna do. We just keep it short because we gotta do all 6 games, right? So
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it short and sweet. We'll do a snake draft. We'll do a quick recap of last week of the regular season. At the end of the 2023-2024 season, the box, of course, 4 points last week. Went 2-3, missed the 3-point pick. We both didn't like it when it came out the box. The Broncos, we were kind of like, this might be the end of the end of the 3-0 streak for the box. Trying to
Wait, how do you get
roll
4?
with the
How do you get
Broncos.
4 points then?
Excuse me, not 4 points. 3
Okay.
points. The 2 and the 3 correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2-1 for the box. 2-1 for me as well. I had the Titans and I had the Bengals for 2 and 3 points. And also, by the way, my guy Brian Shoot 'em up Robinson got into the end zone. So that was my my tutty pick.
And it was quick too. Oh,
And it was the only touchdown. It was funny because I was like, he scored like on the what was the first drive? I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
nice.
it was
And
something
then-
crazy.
And I was like, damn.
But I'm gonna-
I was like,
I-
Washington's gonna cover, and then they didn't even come close.
I got to protest though because both my picks, they were inactive.
Oh yeah, they were inactive. Yeah, I peeped that.
Well, I mean, you got.
I get
to
an
make-
ex- I get
you
an
got
ex-
to make 2 picks. What are you protesting? That you didn't
No,
pick-
well, they were
you
both-
didn't get to
playing.
make
They
a
both
third?
didn't play.
Whose fault is it you pick somebody who didn't play? Who are you protesting
Yeah, but
against?
they were-
Yourself?
But I sent it like a half hour before the game, if that.
Again, whose
It's
fault
like
is
at
it
that
that your
point-
picks didn't play? You
I
could,
go by
had
the- I
you
go
had
by
the
app.
whole entire board to go off of.
Yeah, and the app, they
Like,
usually
listen,
put the
I'm gonna
people
be
who are
real
gonna
with
play.
you. I could have, when I saw Travis Kelce plus 200, I could have picked it too. But I figured him possibly not playing was built into the price. If you weren't smart enough to see that, that's on you, pal.
Yeah,
Yo, I
you could
saw
be
like
right.
three. I saw like 3 names, and that I thought about, and 2 of them I remember they scored. I'm like, fuck, so fast too. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was so tight. I had Kelsey and Puka on the second time when I saw that.
I was gonna go with Puka.
no,
but
no, no.
I was
It was Kittle-
similarly
it was
afraid
Kittle
that
and
he wasn't gonna play a full game.
Yeah, but see, that's why I didn't pick him. But at the same time, I didn't realize that they were trying to get him a record. So if I knew that they were trying to get him a record, I probably would have gone with it.
Yeah, but you, I don't know. Like I can
No, I'm
not
understand the
doing-
rationale
I'm not-
behind that, but going with Kittle and Kelsey that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
You went with
It
teams
is.
that had nothing to play for. Them's the breaks,
Yeah.
bro. That's how the game goes. Ain't no protest.
Yeah.
So anyway, you got
Silent.
the Steelers pick right,
Silent
3-point
protest.
pick. Word Life got the Texans pick right, also 3-point pick. So at the conclusion of the regular season, Box finishes 81 points with oh my goodness, a record of 40-14 against the spread.
That's fucking
for
nuts.
the
Fucking
Box.
stupid.
I
They ain't gonna
finished
redo that shit again.
with a record of 30-24 against the spread for 68 points. Flex finished the season with a record of 28-26 against the spread. Total of 59 points. Word Life, good point allocation. Finished with 54 points, but a struggling record below 500 of 24-30. Could not repeat champion. It's hard. It's hard at the top. It's hard to
Yep.
repeat.
No.
yep.
But now we will pick every game. And so I guess I'll get it started, and we'll just go. We're just gonna go by the times, right? We're not
Yeah.
because
Yes,
these
sir.
are all gonna be 1 point picks, and we'll start with the first game Saturday. Was it 4:15, 4:30, something like that? 4:15, 4:30 kickoff.
Oh, Saturday?
Cleveland -2 at Houston. Now, I wanted this at 3, but couldn't get it at 3. So I guess I'm gonna have to go with Cleveland, begrudgingly,
Ooh.
angrily. I don't like the pick at all. I wanted to take Houston badly, especially after looking at how I performed against Houston through the regular season, the team that burnt me the most. I really wanted to take Houston, but there's just way too many trends that point against rookie quarterbacks. It's weird though, because I feel like if anybody's gonna bust all these trends in terms of rookie quarterbacks and rookie coaches, it's
The guy
this
who
Texans
broke all the
team.
records.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's this Texans team, and I hate to say it, but I'm still not sold on the Browns. I feel like the Browns picked up a lot of hype and a lot of momentum after that Thursday night win where they clinched the playoffs against the Jets. And it was just like, yo, like Flacco, listen, he's played well. He's been a great story. But he's been there a month, man. I'm sorry. Like it's real hard for me to go with it. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland. It's really just gonna be on the strength of the defense. I'm really not fading all the rookie trends. I just feel like the Texans are just so banged up still.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if Cleveland has enough on defense and enough on offense that if they just want to play keep away, they could score. And I don't know that. I think Stroud could put up some points, but I think the Browns D will be ready to go. So I'm going to take the Browns, and I'm going to give 2.5.
Where were you gonna go? To me?
Yeah.
All right.
You had
So
more point.
yeah. So I mean, going with that, I'm gonna go with the same things that you're like. Pretty much what you're saying is all true, factual. But I'm gonna go against that pick and go with the Houston Texans, only for this fact. Like I said, I think C.J. Stroud, if anybody's gonna do it, as a rookie quarterback in the playoffs, first time, it's gonna be him. Flacco, as we've seen with all these quarterbacks that have come in, like and had these little brief kind of like, like shining star moments. I think that he's been there long enough to where they have enough tape. The opposing team has enough tape and they can kind of like put together a game plan for him. We saw in the first half of that Jets game that you mentioned, he had like almost 300 yards in the first half, and then had six yards the rest of the game. So I don't know, similar defenses that D'Amico Ryans and Robert Saleh run. Maybe there's maybe he gives them the inside scoop on them, and even getting that 2.5 at home. A lot of these Texans games are pretty close at the end. They're nail biters. So give me the team that's at home getting the extra points. I know they're young, but both of these teams are kind of banged up. So, it's still a toss up in there. I know it's a young team, unexperienced, maybe, like sometimes you don't know that you don't know better. So give me the Houston Texans over the Cleveland Browns in that game.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Because I kind of want to go Houston, but I think I'm gonna agree with my man H, man. Man, the defense. I think the Houston's too one-dimensional. The running game is not at all a factor, and it's not at all gonna be a factor in this game. They're gonna put it all on Stroud, and though the Browns' offense is not as, I guess they're not as good, I guess, but with the injuries and everything, it's not far. It's not a huge gap. I feel like the Browns' defense is a bigger, is gonna be harder to beat that the Browns defense than it is the other way around. And Flacco's slinging that ball, bro. He's staying in that pocket and he's delivering the ball. You know, that's something that the Browns haven't had. And it's like Ace said, it's only been a month, and this is when the film comes to play. You know, now they got enough film, like you like to say, flex, and which is I agree with you 100% every time you say it. I just think it's gonna be too much. I think it's gonna be too much for the young quarterback to put that whole team on his back with no real dynamic receiver there, against a real tough Browns defense. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, and the Browns are basically coming off of a bye week because they didn't play anybody, and the people that did play in that Bengals game didn't really play because they got smoked, and that was why I was so proud of my 3-point pick last week, because I didn't want to give 7.5 with the Bengals, but I was like, yo, the Browns ain't coming to play, and turned out to be that way. So a little more rested, but. So you go again. Now you get KC in Miami, and we'll bring it back.
Flex, right?
No, you.
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
All right. So with KC in Miami, man, this was the one I really had.
Saturday night main event, 8:15, Peacock.
Yeah,
Make sure you have your Peacock passwords ready.
Yeah, the plus 4.5 is what really fucks with me. I think it's gonna be closer than that. So, with that being said, no, I just can't do it. Give me KC, man. Give me. I just can't do it, man. Tua's the biggest fucking fraud that I've seen play the quarterback position in so long.
Whoa.
That's how I feel about him.
Where did this come from?
Be careful.
Wow.
I'm just being. I know.
I'm not saying
listen.
be careful. I didn't.
I'm saying be careful.
Yeah, I'm just saying how I feel. I really, what I see the kid, you know, I gave him enough opportunities. He shits the bed way too much.
That was Photoshop. That wasn't a real picture of that.
No, that was on the field. The field one was real. The one in the shit the bed. You know, that was the Photoshop one. No, but the kid, he's like a poor man's Dak Prescott. He's a notch below Daniel Jones' capability, in my opinion. And I just can't. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm just telling you what I see.
And he doesn't even like Daniel Jones, so that's
yeah.
how
I'm not
you know
a.
how
I'm
he
not
really
a,
feels
I'm
about
not,
Tua.
I'm not a huge fan of Daniel Jones, but if you switch them around and listen, and I'm not gonna do that. Hey, listen, give me the Chiefs to cover, to beat these guys flat out and cover over 4.5. I just don't believe in Miami. I know they got the weapon and the speed, but they've choked in every big game. This is Saturday night against a former MVP Super Bowl champion, man. He's gonna come to play, and yeah, give me the Chiefs to cover, man.
Sounds like you're spitting on Tua, man.
Tua. I'm shitting on Tua. Tua. That's hard. Yeah, fuck Tua.
I don't know.
Is not named
Tua. I think I'm gonna go against you on this, man. And I know you were, struggling with this, but for the same reason, like the updated weather report I seen was that with the wind chill, it's gonna feel like it's negative 30, 32 degrees. Mm-hmm. So I know that everything is set up for the Miami Dolphins to possibly not even get on the field, like show up the team bus and just be like, and Mike McDaniels was with his little capri joggers, get off the bus. I can't wait to see
his game day fit. What is he?
Yeah.
What is Miami Mike gonna wear to this playoff game?
Remember last year?
But it's crazy because he's from Colorado.
Yeah, I know.
So so maybe he throws on some like a ski outfit, and maybe he's looking like the Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber comes out with one of those big ass ski suits.
That
You know
would
what I'm
be
saying?
ill
With
if he
the
actually
with
just
the
wore
frozen,
skis on the side.
yo, with the frozen
And
with
like
the
was
frozen
doing like
boogers
the
on the
cross country
side.
skiing from one end of the sideline to the other. That'd be
Yo,
fire. With
instead of
poles.
running,
Shit would be great.
his Devon A. Chain is a 80-yard run, and you see fucking Mike McDermott.
Yeah, you stupid.
Oh
that
my
would be
god, that's
that would be
hilarious.
that would be phenomenal. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, their biggest they're a warm weather team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like the Miami Dolphins are like a group of Dominicans. Like, if it's cold outside, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going out. They got the heater. They got the heater on, even though the heat is on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want nothing to do with this cold weather. But at the end of the day, I think that I think they realize with that wind and Tua's, inability to throw those rockets down the field. I think they're gonna do those short passes and kind of focus on like Tyreek Hill doing trying to break somebody, misdirection, and focus on the run game as well. I mean, Devon A. Chain and Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. And it's not a great run defense. So I don't know. Maybe they play the they hold on to the ball, try to play, decent defense. I know the defense is worn down and they got injuries as well, but like if they could, keep the ball in their hand, have ball security in this weather, I think they could run the clock down. It's still a close game. Maybe Harrison Butker kicks a field goal, end of the game. I don't know. Give me the Miami Dolphins getting 4.5. I still think they lose, but give me the 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Yeah. I got to take the Dolphins, and I don't want to, but I just don't. I mean,
you don't want Tua, or you don't want Tua?
I don't want either.
Okay.
I don't want Tua. I don't want Tua. I don't want one or Tua. I definitely don't want Tua. No, but I mean, for me, it's just I'm not even gonna really give too much analysis. I just feel like the Dolphins. This just feels like a low-score game. The Chiefs are not putting up points like the Chiefs of the past. I think I don't think they're looking to put on a show. I think they're looking to at least desperately get out of there with a win to kind of validate that they haven't fallen off as much as everybody says that they have. Mm-hmm. And it just feels like a field goal game to me, or like a touchdown versus a field goal game. One drive, the Chiefs get a touchdown and the Dolphins get a field goal, and that's the margin of loss. And I'm getting the half a point. I got to take that. I don't think Miami will win, but I think just based off of what I saw last year, again, similar situation, right? Last year, Dolphins on the road, cold environment against a team that was kind of showing some warts. They gave a little bit of a show, a little bit of a performance, but ended up losing the game last year in Buffalo. And I feel like the last year's Buffalo team and this year's Chiefs teams have a lot of similarities in terms of how they've kind of started to fade down the stretch, and everybody can kind of see the L coming. I kind of feel that same way about this Chiefs team. I don't think the L is coming this week, but I do think that Miami will go in there. Like, I think Miami has the better running game in this type of environment. I'll take the team with the better run game. I think obviously Kansas City has the better quarterback, but they don't have the weapons at receiver. I don't think they're gonna be able to put up a ton of points in that weather. So I gotta take more than a field goal of points. So that's why I gotta roll with Miami. Not super confidently, but I don't really have too much reason to be super confident in the Chiefs either, to be honest. But so I'll just take the points. It's really a points deal for me. So then moving on to, speaking of Buffalo, moving on to Sunday 1:00. We've talked a lot about the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. When this spread was 10 points, I was all over the Steelers, but I gotta take the Bills, and it's not really because I have a ton of faith in the Bills. I could see the Steelers getting shut out. I could see them not scoring. I don't believe in Mason Rudolph. We've already talked a ton about, what their offense isn't. And I just don't I don't like to fade Tomlin. I think the defense will show up. I think they'll have a game plan, but I think the Bills are super feisty right now. They seem to just be a whole different vibe about them this year than they had last year. Defense is coming together for the Bills towards the end of the season, and it's a big number, but I think the Bills could score 17 and cover this number. I wouldn't be shocked if the final was 17-6. It wouldn't shock me at all. So I feel like if the Bills can at least put up anywhere between 17 to 20 points, I just don't see Steelers offense really come into play. And listen, we all know Josh Allen keeps both teams in the game. Maybe he ends up turning the ball over, and that's how the Steelers get the cover. Maybe. But even with a big number like that, getting a ton of points, I just don't trust the Steelers offense to do enough. And I think that what the funny thing is, the last time that I took a big number against the Bills in the playoffs, this was with the Patriots, and they got smoked. And it was that game I think was colder than this game is supposed to be. And I thought for sure the Bills, it's gonna be cold, and they scored like 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, and the Patriots got run right out of the building. And I could see this game going the same way. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills, and I'm gonna give the 9.5, and I'm just gonna hope that assume that the Steelers offense won't be able to cover.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you again on the Buffalo Bills in this game. All this, I agree with most of the stuff that you said. The Steelers without T.J. Watt, I'm not sure that they've won. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what the stat is, but they haven't won many games without T.J. Watt, and because that's how they win. That's how they win games. It's pressure on the quarterback, make the quarterback make a mistake, make the quarterback fumble, and had T.J. Watt been playing in this game, all of those scenarios are on the table because he fumbles, he throws interceptions when he's rushed, and that defensive secondary for the Steelers is not looking good right now. They have a whole bunch of injuries. They have Patrick Peterson playing at safety. The offensive line is Their pass rushers, I know they got a couple of decent pass rushers, but they're not to the level of T.J. Watt. And they got James. The Bills have James Cook, and they have Josh Allen. They probably lean more towards that. We've seen since Ken Dorsey was fired, they're kind of going into like, listen, if Josh Allen has to win this game with his legs, so be it. And I don't think that the Steelers are going to have enough opportunities. The Buffalo Bills get turnovers too, and they have a decent defense, and they're kind of getting healthy at the right moment. Like anybody who's supposed to be coming back has come back. Jordan Poyer is back; he's playing, and I just think that doesn't line up well for Mr. Mason Rudolph and the Steelers. And Jaylen Warren, he fumbles again. It could get ugly, like you said. Like I think it could get ugly for the Steelers. I just think maybe it's cold enough to where they don't, feel like kind of putting the ball at risk that much, kind of drain the clock out. But at 10 points, I don't think it's that much. Like if it was 13.5, maybe I go with the Steelers. But at 9.5, give me the Buffalo Bills all day.
Yeah. I hate to do a 3-man fucking agreement, but yeah. Pittsburgh is, they barely made it in there. They're beat up. No Watt. I think I'm just gonna say the same shit y'all said. I agree with y'all. The Bills like to beat up on teams, especially in playoffs. Uh, they want to flex a little bit. They need to flex a little bit to scare some guys off. So yeah, I agree. I concur.
Mhm.
And then we have Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Game 2 on Sunday. We have the Packers getting 7 in Dallas, in Big D.
I listen. I'm going to go Green Bay covers, but I can easily see this defense coming out to fucking showcase and really get to it. I can see that happening, but Green Bay's decent team, man. I feel like they got players around there. They got players, on that offense. They got players on the defense. They're gonna keep it. I believe they'll keep it close. I like Love. Something about him intrigues me. Again, I've said this I think 3 weeks in a row. I'm not completely sold, but I'm not. If I had to lean towards, I would lean towards he's gonna be successful in the league. So, with that being said, I think Green Bay will keep it close. Dallas will have. Dallas will probably throw some. Dak will probably mess up a little bit. Not, maybe a pick or two to keep it close with it at the end of the game. But I think Dallas overall is going to win the game.
So you're taking Green Bay with the points, right?
Yes, I'm taking Green Bay with the points.
I think we're gonna have to. We disagree. I think we've. Oh no, the only one we've agreed on is Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I'm gonna disagree with you again, man. And go with the Dallas Cowboys. I know that my record with the with the Packers, I've been kind of picking them a lot. Win some, lose some, but I think that Jordan Love is better than he showed in the beginning, where what got me to not buy in on him. But at the same time, he's very lucky in terms of like not throwing interceptions and like the ball is bouncing in the right for him almost every game. Mm-hmm. And the team that gets those bounces to go their way is the Dallas Cowboys. And I could see right now a Deron Bland pick 6 in this game. And in a controlled environment, I know Dallas has its issues at home and all that, and I see the Dallas Cowboys kind of putting a beating on the Green Bay Packers. CeeDee Lamb's playing out of this world, but also Brandon Cooks has picked it up recently. And, Rico Dowdle is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to bring him up when, considering they got rid of Ezekiel Elliott to focus in on Tony Pollard in this offense. But I don't know. I just think they're playing decent football. They get up on those big games. We thought last week was a spotlight game for Jordan Love. I thought maybe he was going to fold, but I think that's just a product. Justin Fields doesn't like playing in cold weather, and he's not good in cold weather. I don't, maybe that's just it. I'm going to double down on my Packers picks this year. I'll get picking against the Packers this year, and I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think the spread is that large, 7.5 for the purposes of this game. So give me the Dallas Cowboys, man. I think they win this outright, and it's not particularly close.
Oh, man.
Like it.
Clearly. Of course you like it. I don't. You like it so much, you pick the opposite side.
There's only 2.
I don't like it. I don't like either. I am going to take Dallas. I'm going to give the points. I just feel like this isn't the spot where Dallas falls on their face. They fall on their face when it's the
They
big
need more
game.
pressure.
Yeah,
a bigger stage.
Yeah, like the young first timer coming in, Matt Green. I feel like this is where they get that. This is where they shine. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see Dallas. I mean, all it takes is one Jordan Love fumble or interception, and this game could get out of hand quick. Like
Ron Bland pick 6.
yeah, it could be anything. I just feel like, I just can see this getting away from the Packers quickly, and I just don't. Unlike the Cowboys are built to hold the lead. You know what I mean? So I don't normally with a big spread like that, 7.5. I'd be worried about a backdoor cover, but I'm not really worried about that with this Cowboys team because they're built to play with a lead. They're built to get ahead and send Micah Parsons and everybody to give the opposite team problems. And in a game like this where they are the better team, I think they know they're the better team, and I just feel like they're going to be looking to make a statement in this game. I think this is a game they're going to be looking to put it on and put it on a young quarterback, put it on a lesser, the youngest team in the league, right? That's what everybody's talked about, how the Packers have the youngest roster in the league, and I could see this getting out of hand quick, and while I do like Jordan Love, I think there's something there. This is his first year as a starter. He'll have his time. If we face this same situation next year, 2 years from now, and he's going in there with the lesser team, getting a big number like this, that'd be a different story. But right now,
he needs to get a little bit more grizzled.
Yeah, right now, I mean, he's on a little bit of a run, and the one thing I was trying to talk myself into this Packers pick. I wanted to be on the Packers. I was trying to talk myself into it, and the one thing I was thinking in my mind, I was pointing to was the game plan that they went into Detroit with on Thanksgiving. They like really they were wounded, and they took AJ Dillon, and he had like 50,000 carries. I just don't see them being able to pull that off. I couldn't talk myself into it, so I'm going to give the big number. I think this is a game, just like how Dallas everybody was questioning Dak and Dallas last year against Tampa, and Brady's last hurrah, and everybody was hating on Dak, was throwing picks at the end of last year. They went in there and they smashed the Bucs, and I could see this being a similar spot. I'm not rooting for it, but I just don't see enough with the Packers to take them in that spot. So I'm going to take Dallas, and I'm going to give the number. Again, not usually what I like to do, but fuck it, we'll roll with it. And then Sunday night,
McCarthy, what's the coach's name? Revenge game.
McCarthy revenge game. Yeah,
McCarthy revenge game.
Yeah, McCarthy revenge game. Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of that, we're just quickly going back to what we were talking about the coaches. Quinn back to, returning to Seattle where he won a championship as a coordinator makes sense. And that also kind of is baked into my line here because this, I feel like, is an opportunity for Quinn and that defense to put on a show.
Yeah.
And kind of cement himself as a big-time candidate for a head coaching job after the season.
I see it 100%.
I definitely. That's why I started off with. I could see the defense turning, making it a big thing early, but we'll see. That's why they play the games, baby.
That's why they play the games. And then Sunday night, they will be playing another game. And you want to talk about revenge games. There's revenge spots all over this game. There's the Jared Goff revenge. There's the Lions revenge. There's the Stafford revenge. The McVay revenge. It's revenge everywhere. The Rams are getting 3. And I got to take the Rams. My only fear here would be, I've already bet this game because when I saw the line come out at 3.5 to start, I knew I was going to lose that hook. I thought I would probably, to tell you the truth, the only thing that scares me is that this hasn't gone down to a solid 2.5, 2 or a 1-point spread because I know everybody has been all over the Rams since the line came out and it hasn't really moved. that kind of scares me a little bit. The other thing that kind of scares me a little bit is I don't know if Matt Stafford, I heard that they're going to do like a video tribute. I don't know if he gets maybe a little misty-eyed about Detroit and maybe, he gets a little confused. But the only thing, aside from that, I just don't see... I mean, we've talked about the Rams all year. The Rams have been, since the preseason, the Rams have been my underdog pick. And I look at this game, man. Who are you taking a head coach? Yes, this guy's a fun story, and I like that he has great balls to go to go for a 2-point conversion from the 50-yard line like a fucking psychopath. I respect that, but I can't. I'm taking McVay every time in the coaching battle. In the quarterback battle, they have the better quarterback, and the thing is that like the Lions, their calling card is offense. They're not a defensive team. Their calling card is offense, and I think they're facing an offense that's better than theirs. I think that the Lions are the Rams are what the Lions hope to be. They hope to build a championship, high-powered offense that can carry them to a Super Bowl like that. The Rams still, they brought in Puka and he's balling, and they kind of injected some new life and energy into that team, especially on the offensive side. They got Kyron Williams running the ball. He's a top running back in the league this season. The Lions obviously have a lot going on there. But I don't see where their edge is. I don't see an edge for them. They have a decent pass rush. Aiden Hutchinson might create some problems for Matt Stafford, but that Lions secondary, what are they gonna do with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, man? They give up the most. They're like bottom in the league against opposing wide receivers. I don't see an edge for the Lions. So I got to take the Rams. I mean, they're the more experienced team. They're the more experienced quarterback, the better coach. And the Rams have struggled on D, but they still have Aaron Donald to kind of offset, the star that the Lions have on the D line. So I'm gonna take Stafford. I think they're gonna win the game. I think the Rams are gonna win the game. So if I think they're gonna win the game, I got to take them with the 3.5.
Yeah, man. I really, trying to make a ground on you for the overall, but I can't. Honestly, I can't disagree with what you said, man. Like that 3.5. Like you said, man, the Lions are they're high powered, but at the end of the day, the Rams are they're kind of like mirror images of themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that on the defensive side, there's a little bit more polish with the Rams, and they keep it close, or they lose at the end of the game. I think it's a close game, and if I think this game is going to be that close, I think I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Rams, man. I wasn't a believer at first, but kind of got sold the way they play. They bring it pretty much every week. They've got weapons, even though they came out of nowhere for the most part. It's like they shuffle in these offensive players, and it's like you have to kind of confirm what their jersey number is to see who it is. Like after they get catches, like having it over and under.
Well, the refs got to confirm who it is. That's who got to confirm.
Yeah.
They don't have a mistake at the end of the game. Like
over and under on some of these wide receivers and tight ends with the Rams. You got to double check. You got to double check every time there's a catch, because they have so many like waves of different kind of players that play the exact same way. They know what they're looking for. Granted, I know like they got the the Lions brought over Brad Holmes, which was part of the the Los Angeles Rams front office. That's who they brought over. That's why you could kind of see why they mirrored, they're kind of like a mirror image of themselves. Granted, like I do think that the Lions are more talented than the Rams are on the field, and like what Bobby alluded to, like I think that the Rams are more talented off, on the sidelines in terms of like the coaches. And like I don't think that this they haven't the Lions haven't been seasoned yet. They started off hot. They were one of the sexy picks to make the Super Bowl, to make it far in the playoffs. But I mean, at certain points, they've kind of shit the bed and kind of gone back down to earth. So, I'm not necessarily saying that they're gonna, play a shitty game this weekend, but I can see the Rams keeping it close, and maybe they do end up pulling it out at the last second. That's kind of how both of these teams historically play games. So, give me the Rams. I want to disagree with Bobby, but I just can't in this instance, particularly.
Yeah. Who do you think wins?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's gonna just be like it's gonna come down to the last second, and exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, cause that the game. I think that's why the 3 points, like that's what the spread is, because because the 3 points really means like that the home field advantage, you get those 3 points, and it's basically these teams are basically even. Like the Vegas knows this team is basically even, and at the end of the game, like at the end of the game, it's just gonna come down to like what shit happens at the end of the game. And like like that Dallas game, you said like that could easily happen again, and I could easily see the Rams doing the same exact thing as them. You know what I'm saying? Like going for 2 to win the game, and maybe getting it or not getting it. Yeah. And it's Cooper Kupp in the corner of fading away and catching the 2-point conversion to win the game. Yeah. And Matt Stafford comes out victorious. Like, this shit is all stories. Like, you can see all of these stories. Like, you can already picture all of them. So, I don't know. I just think if I'm getting 3.5 points for this, I'm going to take the team that's getting them,
Yeah. Well, that makes another three same picks. 3 of the same picks. I'm going to go LA Rams also. It's just experience. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's what's going to win the game. Detroit being at home, hot-headed Detroit. I don't know. I feel like that continues, and I think that's where the coaching shows out. And who knows golf better than the guy that fucking got rid of him, right?
I did think of that too. Yeah.
So I think that's what ultimately is going to come to. I think. Detroit, the pass rush, but we got a vet with a strong arm that can get the ball out fast, and the Rams' run defense bothers me a little bit, but not enough that is going to alter my pick. So, LA Rams +3. Yeah, I think they win too.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw what happened on Thanksgiving, man. The Lions, going in. Lions are finally going to be good on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? They got the spotlight on them. And we saw how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? So
I ain't gonna lie, I hate to do it too, because the Lions are fun to,
I would like to see them pull off a win the way that they did, because it's similar. Like we saw in that, to tell you the truth, in that Cowboys game.
Yeah, that was
they should have beat them down.
We're not even. Who should have beat who down?
Lions played well that game. Wow. I know, like
phenomenal. I thought they played well. Yeah,
that sounds like played, a little bit of revisionist history.
No. What I'm saying is, because it looked like it was going to go in the opposite direction. But what I'm saying is, like, they took the punch, kind of came back, and they weren't kind of expected to win that to win that game. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they made it, they made it into a game, kept it close. Because like when Dallas puts the foot on their foot on the gas pedal, you see how those games at Dallas end up turning out for the most part, especially this season. But for them to keep it like that and kind of, pretty much have, a coin flip decide if they won or lost. I mean, that's a good game for them.
Yeah, but the only thing that I look at with that is that because when I look at that game, looking back to the Dallas Detroit game, the image I can't take out of my mind is Goff throwing those picks every time that they were trying to come back. And the only reason they even had an opportunity that last drive to score and go for the 2 points was because the fucking game was mismanaged by Mike McCarthy. Sean McVay's not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Monday Night Football to conclude the super wild card weekend. Super duper wild card weekend. Monday night, we have the Philadelphia Eagles limping both metaphorically and physically into Tampa Bay. It's a little bit of a revenge game for them too, because they lost against the they got cooked by the Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Jalen Hurts' first playoff game. So they will return to Tampa Bay for a Monday Night Football playoff game, and the defending NFC champion Eagles getting 3 points on the road in a playoff game. No, getting. Yeah. They are underdogs.
The Eagles
are plus 3.
No, they're -3.
Who's -3?
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah. But I'm on, Brett.
Yeah, no, the Buccaneers are home dogs. Right?
Yep.
Getting 3.
Yep. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And Tampa's just a bad team.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Tampa Bay's not good.
Yeah, basically, and I think this is, they made the playoffs. This is a good reset for Philly. I think this is the last game they win, but I could see them just getting over on Tampa, 10 points and up. Tampa's just not good, man. Eagles need to prove something, and this is the perfect stage for them in the warm climate, So yeah, give me the Eagles to stomp them out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on that one. Like you so eloquently pointed out, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not good. We saw with the playoffs on the line last week what they did against the Carolina Panthers. That was disgraceful, man.
Mm-hmm.
To beat a team, well, and honestly, they could have lost that game had it not been for that fumble that went into the end zone. They could have easily lost that game last week, and that just kind of shows like what type of team they are when the pressure's on, and when like Todd Bowles, a decent defensive coach. That's what you get. Todd Bowles. That's exactly what you get when the pressure's on and you have a big game to win, and you don't have Tom Brady. So, Baker Mayfield is banged up. I know that the Eagles are banged up. They're going through a lot of things, whatever. And I guess Sirianni's on the hot seat. I'm glad that he is. I just don't think that this is the week that causes him to get fired. I think whoever beats them next round, the Eagles next round, I think.
Why are you glad that Sirianni's on the hot seat?
Yeah, I can't stand. I can't stand.
Just you don't like him, okay?
No, he's just like he has one of the most. Yeah, because he has one of the so arrogant that he has one of the most talented teams in the NFL, and he thinks that it's him. like the reason why they're winning.
Yeah, I can't
And we
stand
clearly saw how, you know, when the team gets banged up and the end of the season, when coaching actually starts to matter. And he doesn't have two of his coaches that got head coaching jobs this year, or last year or whatever. It really mattered, and I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes with this team. And we saw AJ Brown do AJ Brown things, like you know, like what I like to allude to with some of these wide receivers that I stand against. But I still think that they're good. They're way better than only giving 3 points in this game. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win. I know giving 3.5, but I think they win this game in, 14, 17-point fashion.
Oh, wow. 14, 17 points. Yeah. Yeah, I got to take the Eagles. Just because, just top of the market. Like the Eagles, as much as they've struggled, everybody's down on the Eagles. That's why you're getting a cheap price for them. They're still the better team. They're the more seasoned team. You can say what you want about Sirianni. I think he still might be the better coach. I don't think much of Todd Bowles as a head coach at all.
Yes.
So I'm not.
That wasn't what I was basing it on.
No. I know. I'm just saying, like, that's how badly I look at Todd Bowles. Like, I have no faith in Todd Bowles. So like while I agree with a lot of what you're saying about Sirianni, despite all that, the Bucks still don't have a discernible edge at coaching. So where is their edge? I just
or
feel
anywhere.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Where is their edge
Yeah.
at? They don't have really much of an edge anywhere. So, I don't believe in the Bucks at all. I kind of feel like they're, the quintessential. They're here by default because the division was just so trash. The New Orleans and Atlanta and Carolina, probably 3 of the bottom teams in the league. Somebody had to win the division. So
they're all the same team.
Yeah, I mean, they're like and I hate to put it just to one game sample, but with a game to win the division, the Bucks proved that they're not that much better than the Panthers.
That they shouldn't win the division.
Yeah.
That they shouldn't win any division.
Yeah.
But just somebody had to win it.
So with only a field goal, I got to take the Eagles. I would have maybe if it was a bigger number, I could have talked myself into Tampa covering, but no. I mean, I feel like to take the Bucks is to think they're gonna win, and I don't think they're gonna win. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna go clean sweep there on the Eagles as well. So pretty much consensus for the most part. Not a lot of disagreement here. We shall see how it plays out. And let's get this money. What else can be said? See y'all next week.